and welcome to the final whistle for round 18. Alongside me, Andrew Johns and Brad Fittler. Good to see you both.
Hey, Danica.
For the Tigers, a big win for them, 42 points to 24, and I'm pleased to say that we are joined by Adam Dewey at Suncorp Stadium following that victory. Adam, congratulations on the win. A really strong second half performance from the team.
Yeah, we've sort of taken this little trip up to Brisbane as a second opportunity for us. We've sort of reset our season, and 8 rounds to go. We want to start good, and to be honest, we wanted to make the sacrifice worth it come the end of the season. So we're 1 from 1 today, and we'll review it tomorrow, push it behind us, and get on to the Manly next week.
Mate, at times during the game, Adam, I've got to say, it looked a bit doubtful, the result. At any stage, did you feel like the game was getting away?
Not really, Freddie. We knew that if we just stuck to our process and kept kicking the corners and completing high, that we'd give ourselves a shot. And we thought the more we got into the arm wrestle, the better we were getting. So we're glad we did that in the second half. And last 10 minutes to go, the rewards came for us. So good patience from us and from Brooksy.
Mate, what about Stefano? Has spent a week in camp. How was he coming out?
Yeah, he's such a big player. He's such a big body, and you can see the momentum he gets for us, and allows me, Brooksy and Dana to just play on that front foot off the back of it. And I was really happy for him to get rewarded in the Origin side, and it's a big learning step for him, and I'm sure we'll see him in the Blues jersey in the short term.
What position do you prefer, 5'8" or centre?
Yeah, 5'8", I've always said it. I played all the juniors in the halves, and I'm a bigger body in the front line, so I feel as if I can set the game up and start running early, it'll open me up to throw my long ball later in the game. And lucky enough, we got a few chances tonight, and we iced them.
Mate, there's been a few changes throughout the year. You were going a half, 5'8", centre, all different things. Is there discussions that go with it and reasoning, or you're just told where you're playing?
Yeah, of course. Madge likes to agitate the group, and me being a senior figure in the club and in the halves, he wanted to change things around, and I'm also very versatile, so saw me have opportunity in the centres, but I'm really happy back at 5'8", and I'll look at my game tonight, see where I can improve, and come Manly next week, we'll try and strip them as well.
You spoke about your long passing. There was a long pass today to Nofalumi, a left to right. Is that something you really work on, your long passing? Because it's part of the game. It's gone out of the game for halves.
Yeah, it is. I've sort of a bit of a footy nerd, and like breaking down the opposition, and like seeing what the 2-in and 1-in defender do. And when we identify that they're tired, and I sort of start hitting loose short and start setting myself up for that long ball, and Noff helps me out with that. And once we see Oatsy turned in, that's sort of my trigger. And when he's turned in, it's sort of hard for a big winger like him to turn back out and chase Noffa. So, yeah, something we'll work on, and we'll continue to improve week to week.
Well, your haircut proves you're a nerd, but who are the players you've looked up to give you this sort of guidance, and who have you followed?
Yeah, I was a Tigers fan growing up, and Robbie Farah and Benji Marshall are two players I've always sort of looked up to. Robbie's a Lebanese heritage as well, as long as me, so he's a great leader, and me being in the leadership team this year, I've learned a lot from him, under him, and also Benji, he was a 5'8" coming through, and I was a 5'8" junior, and always kept a close eye on him, and we both come from touch footy backgrounds, so that 4-on-3 in attack is something we're both sort of good at, and he helped me a lot last year and how to break down the defence and how to set them up and stuff, so I have to say them two players.
Adam, you're starring in Dumb and Dumber 3 with that haircut.
Come on, Joey. I said the boys are into me about sort of going bold early, so I'm stressing out about it. I'm only 22 years old, so I'm just trying to change it up and hold on to it, to be honest.
Do you have a hairdresser in camp? Do you have someone that's dedicated to
Stevie
giving...
Wonder.
a few of them say they can, but I don't trust them, so I don't know. Leave it for now.
How's camp, mate? How's the first couple of days been?
Yeah, it's good. As I said, a few of the boys sort of have made some big sacrifices, leaving kids at home and leaving wives at home. I'm sort of not in that boat, so trying to get around them boys and helping out. But as I said, we've seen it as a second opportunity for us, and we want to make the sacrifice worthwhile for us. So the more wins we can get, the more we'll enjoy it, and come after 8 weeks, we'll see where we end up.
So you haven't found a girl yet? Your mum won't be happy.
Not yet.
Come on, mate. We want babies.
Not yet. Lads, we stay at home till we're 30.
Families.
Is that baby bonus still going?
Thank you so much, Adam, for joining us here on the final whistle. Go and enjoy the win.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
Mate.
All right, well, one of the poor Adam just getting stuck into it.
He's a great fella.
He's killing it, isn't he?
Oh, he's a good fella. When I coached him, he was only a kid. He was like 18, 19 in that the Lebanese team.
Yep.
And come on, save the game for us. Awesome.
Now, a couple of the other big talking points for this round. On Friday night, we had the news that Gus Gould is joining the Bulldogs. So, do you like this move? Do you rate it highly?
Well, the way the
Tremendous.
Bulldogs are going, absolutely.
What do you think he can
it's
bring to the
tremendous.
team?
Like in my time in rugby league, he's one of the smartest minds. Not only as a coach, who's a very smart player, but also as administrator. Look what he did out at Penrith. They were on their knees. It's sensational. Great for the game, great for the Bulldogs.
Day one, when he comes in, what are the first things that he needs to look at?
Well, he's mostly got an opportunity here to sit back and just look for a while and listen and see what's actually going on. Obviously, I think everyone talks about they've got problems with their roster and their salary cap, so they're huge jobs, and that's something he did out in Penrith. He had to make some really tough decisions where he moved some of their leaders on. Matt Moylan moved on. There were some others. But all the leadership out of that group pretty much moved on at the same time. So, but the thing with Gus, he'll make big decisions and he'll run with his gut instinct.
And is it something that you look at that it might take a little while for fans to see the changes? As you said, he's got to sit back and have a look at everything.
I think next year they're going to be right on the improve. The players they've recruited, another year under Trent Barrett and his philosophies, and obviously Gus going there. I think with the players they've recruited for next year, I think they could be thereabouts around the 8.
Well, with Matt Burton, Josh Addo-Carr.
They've got some good players there.
He puts them on notice too, and staff. When he walks in, he puts them on notice, and he moved Ivan on. I'm pretty sure at that stage, that wasn't necessarily a favourable decision. Moved Hook on as well, just after re-signed him. So he's happy to make a big call, and like I said, he puts everyone on notice, so it'll sharpen everyone up.
Yeah. All right, well, moving on, Mitch Moses, he copped a little bit of criticism after Wednesday night. How tough of a job is that to do, and do you think it's so unfair that he's the one that's been singled out?
Well, it's ridiculous. It's to go in as your first game as the halfback and run the show, incredibly difficult. I've spoken to Mitchell about his performance. Obviously, I work with him at Parramatta. I thought he's early on found it difficult to impose himself on the game, whether that's with combinations with Jack Whiten, but also Damien Cook. But I thought as the game went on and longer, the more comfortable he looked. And the last 10 minutes when the game was on the line, that's when he really stood up.
Well, how beneficial is this for Parramatta heading towards the finals? That experience of Origin and what he would have learnt from that, bring that back to clubland.
Absolutely. The thing what Origin teaches you, you need to play sometimes when it doesn't feel that comfortable. You need to get back behind the ball and play because you don't get that many penalties, and sometimes you're just going to be kept down there because the defence is so good. And that's what it taught him. And in those stages, you've got to run and you've got to get creative and you've got to get people around you moving as well. So that's what happens also in grand finals and big semi-finals when the pressure's on. You need to play sometimes when it's uncomfortable. So I'm really interested watching him go into the back end of the season. And there was some parts of his game which were great. His defence was great. Made some big tackles early and they put a lot of pressure on him. But, I really enjoyed watching him play. I enjoyed his company and he'll only get better, I think.
Right, what about the new hub life? Every single team now in Queensland at the moment. Do you think that we might potentially see some teams struggle with this more so than others?
Hub life, how would you go, Andrew?
He'd be horrible.
You're going up to the sun.
But no, hub life at the moment, they go from their bedroom.
2 weeks.
No,
For 2 weeks.
they go from
for
their
2 weeks.
bedroom, team room, and that's it.
Well, you've got to sit back and take a deep breath and understand what's at stake. And I think if you did that, then you get on with it. It'd be a pain in the you-know-what. Well, living here in Sydney at the moment, lockdown, it can be tough, but you got to think also of other people, how much other people are struggling. So it's difficult, but what are you going to do?
How do you think you'd go, Freddie?
Oh, yeah, I'd go, right. It is what it is. I've just come a week out of it, so I know exactly what they're going through. But the funny thing I did realise, and like you said, you get your head around it. And, the thought to walk outside just doesn't even enter your head because you just know it's not going to be the right thing to do. But the moment everyone left and there was the staff just left who were flying back, and I actually was able to walk out and walk down to the beach, it was incredible. Like, it was an amazing feeling and you couldn't imagine how that was taken away. But like Joey said, when you're playing, you get your head around it and you just, you got your parameters and away you go. But it was interesting once it was over how when you look back on it.
Freedom. How
Freedom.
good. But what about teams that are, if you've got teams that are doing really well, they're happy to be around each other, it's quite a happy environment. When you've got teams that are really struggling, say they're becoming fractured and they're the only people that you're hanging around day in, day out, you don't get to sort of, you know, walk away from footy for these first 2 weeks.
I think some of those teams are in tougher hotels. There's different types of lockdowns. So if you're in a, when we're in Brisbane, for that game, we're in a hotel where there was no windows in your bedroom and nor in the team room. So you're not getting fresh air. So that'd be tough. And I think a few of the teams that are in Brisbane are actually under those sort of scenarios. While the other teams at least maybe walking from your bedroom to your team room, and they've actually got balconies as well where you can get some fresh air. So those little things are very important.
Certainly are. All right, let's move on to on the clock. You've got to finish this sentence. Freddie, you're up first.
All right.
After losing on Friday night, the Dragons' season is what?
Teetering.
Joey?
On the edge.
2 words, but 3 words.
Edgy.
All right, with back-to-back wins for the first time since April, the Raiders are?
Climbing.
I was going to say something really rude there.
Go.
Go, mate. No one's watching.
Horny. That's all I can
Was
think.
that on the rudest
I
one?
can only think it. That's all I can think.
I don't want to know what's on your mind.
What are you doing in
All right,
lockdown?
Okay.
Kate.
last one, Freddie.
done.
The Australian captain at the World Cup should be?
Teddy.
Horny. Tedesco.
All right, we're all in agreement there. I think it's time for Andrew Johns to go home.
Look out, Kate. Coming in hot, the big boy.
All right, well, that is all we have time for this week's Final Whistle. We'll see you again next week.